Greetings, YouTube. A New York Times article I read just today dealt with sexual abuse cases being reported in the U.S. military. I'll link to the article. And it should come as no surprise that the U.S. military, from the Pentagon on down, isn't handling this issue particularly well. There's a very low rate of reporting these cases, both for female victims, the vast majority, and male victims. Some don't report it because they are concerned that they may be charged themselves with criminal offenses that they were doing at the time of the assault, fraternizing, underage drinking, leaving a post, things like that. Some fear it because they're afraid that their commanding officer will discipline them or ignore them because that such a report might reflect poorly on the commander, him or herself. It shouldn't really be a surprise here. We're dealing with an incredibly top-heavy hierarchy, with lots of people in charge of lots of people who have no say. The fact that our service personnel who suffer like this, most of them being women, appalls me. We place into the hands of our service persons weapons of destruction. Some, it's simple as a pistol or rifle. Some have access to missiles, tanks, armored personnel carriers, fighter jets, nuclear missiles. And if for some reason we don't seem able to instill a level of discipline that would allow them to not rape their fellow service personnel. The U.S. military and all militaries, by extension, make a lot of the whole concept that their troops are disciplined. They talk about what the great things that being in the military can do for you. It can change your life. It can make you a better person. It can give you opportunities you never had before. They seem to downplay the fact that they don't apply that discipline to every aspect of a service person's characteristics, their personality. If you can trust a person with a semi-automatic rifle that can kill a human being at 500 meters, then I think you should be able to trust that same service person with not raping the person in the foxhole next to them. But apparently, the military doesn't agree with me. Because this sort of thing happens all the time. And I'm sure it's going to continue. More and more women are joining the military. I foresee a point in the future where the military is made up of a close to equal percentage of men and women. It's never going to be completely equal. I don't think that there are going to ever be half the women in the world that want to be in the military. And I oppose a draft, so that would never I would hope that would never happen officially. But there's going to be a lot of women in that structure, within that hierarchy. There are going to be a lot of men that won't report abuse because, of course, they're men. If they report it, it's going to reflect badly on them as men, which is a pity. Because if they come out and speak about it, they will help bolster the bravery of those others who have suffered the same way and have been afraid to say something. So just one person, man or woman, coming forward can help so many other victims. Even if those secondary victims don't ever come forward, they know they're not alone. And that's important. The article deals with one particular woman who finally filed charges against someone that was discovered that that particular person had 19 charges against them and eventually resigned their position in the military. If I had done something like that, there's no resigning my position as a civilian. I'd be charged criminally. For good reason. I don't think that a person in the military, an officer, should just be able to say, oh, sorry, my bad, and leave the service and walk away. We need to apply the same rules, good and bad, to service person that we apply to civilians. All the same privileges, all the same rights, and all the same responsibilities. I want our troops to come home. I want every one of them to be whole, body and soul. But there's something particularly horrifying about suffering at the hands of a person that you were supposed to call comrade.